Have you watched daffodil bloom in uncertain weather and wondered how? How does it bloom when nothing feels settled? Maybe you feel that way too. You sense something new trying to emerge, but the ground underneath feels very shaky. Change doesn't arrive the way we expect it to, and often the ground that we were standing on no longer feels solid. And that's where it begins. I didn't wake up one day knowing what to do. I just couldn't resist the pull that I was feeling. My husband and I decided to shake up our world and move countries. But that wasn't where the real move was. The real move was internal. And what was really happening was it was the beginning of an unraveling of all the inauthentic things in my world that I had relied on to prevent being judged by everybody around me. What I learned through my stages of blooming and from coaching clients through their stages of blooming is that change happens in stages. So let me explain. It starts with stage one, and stage one is what I call the disruption. And this is where something in your life has shaken up, something has happened. Maybe it was a loss, maybe it was a move, maybe it was an ending, but something has shaken up, the world as you know it. Then you move into stage two, which is called the settling in. And this is where you are just in this phase of finding your footing again, understanding that disruption has happened, but that you're settling into this new reality. And this is where you aren't trying to fix it or to create something, you're just settling and finding your footing again. This is the quiet pause after the shock of your life being uprooted, and it's where you're landing. It's not about being stuck. And then something begins to stir. And this is where you're moving into stage three. And stage three is called sensing. And sensing is the stage where you can't name yet what it is that you are moving towards, but something inside you is beginning to wake up. This is where you start paying attention and just beginning to notice what's stirring for you and what's happening around you and internally in your body and in your emotions. You're not trying to fix it. You're not trying to change anything. You're just noticing. Then you move into stage four, and this is called the courageous trying because it does require you to have courage because you're starting to move without feeling 100% ready. This is where you begin to forge your new identity through motion. So it's by moving that you begin to understand who you're moving towards, not the other way around. And this path isn't straight. You can expect it to have a lot of twists and curves in your path as you find your way. If I use an example from my own life, when I was facing, and this is recent, when I was facing mobility issues because of having MS, I was really believing that I wasn't going to be able to walk anymore. And eventually that shifted to me understanding that I can't walk the same way. So it definitely allowed me to start taking steps to learning a new way of walking and being able to, even though it was different, I was understanding that things weren't over. It was just a new way to look at it. One thing you can expect in this stage is that resistance will be your companion, and it's definitely not your enemy. You can expect it because change is hard here. You're trying things and they're not going to always work, but you will find your way as you keep moving forward and forging that identity. And eventually you move into stage five, which is called creating. And this is where you begin to really find you trust yourself and your own way of moving in the world more than you trust others. And it's because you've got this solid foundation under you again and allowing you to really begin to create what you want for yourself. You're not just surviving in your new life, you're building it from the inside out. And if you look at the roots In the daffodil, your roots are deep and strong, and every time you go through this cycle again, those roots get deeper and deeper and deeper. This isn't a one-time journey. You're going to go through this cycle multiple times in your life, but every single time you go through these 5 stages, you will have stronger roots and you'll understand your identity even more each time. You're not going in circles, you're spiraling upward. So I've got for you a new tool, and this tool is called Where Are You in the Cycle? And as you go through it, and you can find it in the description, you can download it there for free. And this allows you to figure out where you are in change in this transition in your life. And if you were interested in working with me, this is where we begin using what you have gone through on this tool to find out where you're at. And if you do want to go further, you can schedule a coffee chat with me and we can just chat about it. All right. If you have any questions about the daffodil cycle, if you want to share where you are at in the cycle, you can write it in the comments. And I look forward to talking to you again next week. Bye for now.